Right, hello and good afternoon, everyone. So welcome again to our free online lesson. My name is Nabil Fikri bin Shaizan, an application engineer from Acad Systems. So for today's free online lesson, I'm going to share you a bit about form modeling. Right? So basically something like an organic type of modeling software. Right, so let's take a look next. So this will be the agenda for today. So first of all, we're going to take a look on the form interface here. And then we're going to start create form, and then we're going to do some multiple manipulations, shape here, just to make it different type of shape. And then from there, we're going also to edit already existing form that we have. So for that, let me just share my screen. So you can see my screen from here. All right, so this will be the Fusion that I will use to create a form. So first of all, if you want to start with adding a form, so you can go to the solid here under the design panels. So you should be able to see the create form right over here. Now, if you don't see it, probably maybe because you open up the data panel, you can still see from the create down here, and then you should be able to click at the create form from here. So let me just turn this one off. So once I click at the create form, so it will open up the form panels, and this is where we can start. So the first one, we have create. So this is where we can start to add our form. Then we're going to modify it using modifying tools. Then there are extra tools that we can use from here, such as symmetries and utilities, basically just to see the shape clearly. So first of all, I can start to add form. So from here, I have a primitive, right? So which allow me to create a box, planes, cylinders, and so on. And down here, I can create a form based on my sketch. So if I want to create from primitives, I can select one of the form from here. Maybe I pick the cylinders. I can start to create planes, and then I can start to click the size that I want from this form. And then from here, it will allow me to change the settings of my shape based on the dialog box from here. Maybe I want to have more faces for this cylinder. I can just click from here. Or maybe I want to have more height for this. Okay, so we have more face that we can see from here. So that is the things. So if I would like to create the shape manually, maybe I want to extrude it. So for that case, I can create a sketch first, where I create from this shape right here. And then from this shape, I would like to extrude it. So when I finish my sketch, I can use the extrude tools, or I can also revolve as well. So I can just extrude. This will allow me to extrude this face, this sketching. So again, I can also control the information from the dialog box here. Maybe I would like to have more faces. So maybe more faces from here as well. So I can just click there. I can click OK, and then I have this shape like this. So just a little bit reminder that when you use of forms, any things that you added or you change and modify will not be recorded inside of the history down here. So this one is only to click for overall settings, overall change that you make from here. So anything that you add, maybe I add another box from here, so it will not be recorded, and I cannot go back and change the size. So I need to do it manually. So just a bit reminder for me. Right. So let's say I would like to create a box. So for this case, I'm going to create a box. Again, I need to specify the planes that I'm going to choose. Maybe this plane right here. Then this shape. Then from here, I can specify the how many lengths I want, how many length face that I want. Then I can also change the length of the actual size of this. Right. So I can also use this arrow down here. Maybe make it slightly bigger. Also this pin right here to increase the faces. Or I can just simply just use it from the dialog box. Also okay. So I can just click OK. So I have this form created inside. So once I'm finished, I can just click finish form and it will bring me back to solid editing tools. So the form that we created before can be edited. So you can actually use this to cut this one or maybe to join. Maybe I would like to cut. I can create some hole right here. So I can click finish. Then I can use this to extrude. Basically, just I can use it to maybe join together. Maybe for this, maybe I would like to cut. So it will allow me to go back and edit this forms. Right. So why do we want this form? Right. So the reason why we want this form is because we can create a organic shape that you can see from here. So my shape is actually quite smooth. So this is basically what you want to do. And from this editing panel over here, you can directly manipulate the shape based on how many faces that you have, right? So that's the reason why we can specify how many faces from here. So the more face that you have, the more editing that you can done from here. So for this case, let me just make it slightly bigger from here. So once I'm done, I can just click OK. And from here, if I would like to manipulate the shape, so I can go to the modify here. So if I drop down, so I have edit form, edit curve, insert edge, and so on and so forth. So the most common things that people will do is the edit form from here, or I can just directly click from the top. So this is where you can basically edit the shape by pulling it out. So whether you can click at the face. So once I click the face, it will show me this gizmo transform mode that allow me to move, or I can also click at the edge, or I can also click at the point. So once I click, I can just use this arrow gizmo right here to basically move it around. So I can select this face here. You can move this one around as well. And once I'm done, I can just click OK. So I have this shape created and I can go back to the normal editing methods. Right, so let's take a look. What are the things that we can do from here? So right now, my move is not actually smooth. So let me just change the settings from down here so that it will not be snapping. So it should be that. Right, so it will not have increment snap. So I can move this one freely. All right, so first of all, when we take a look at the move from here, so there are many things that we can actually do. So if I click this face here, so I can use this arrow to basically move. I can also rotate it using this line rotation right here, circle right here. So different rotations allow me to have from different angle. And I also able to change the scale size from here. So this is the scale size that I can change, maybe make it slightly smaller or bigger. So I can just adjust the scale there. So it will show you 3 different type of editings from there. So if you prefer to have manual type of selections, maybe you don't want everything to be input over here. So there we can take a look back at our edit form dialog box from here from the transform mode. So first of all, we have multi. So basically, it will cover for everything. So if I don't want all, so I can just click translate. Basically means allow me to move only where I would like to move it upwards. Right here, you can also use this plane right here. So if I would like to rotate, I can select the rotate. Then it will allow me to rotate only. Or maybe I just want to scale up and down. So in that case, I can click at the scale factor from here. So again, you can also input the value from here if you would like to. Maybe I make it half of the scale, so I can just input the value as well. Right, so if we take a look back, so that is the transform modes. Other thing that we can control from here is the coordinates. So when you click at the face from here, so this will be my direction of the arrow. So I can just use this. But let's say maybe I don't want to follow for the X, Y, and Z axis. Okay, if you take a look at the arrow here, so this arrow is the Z directions. Same goes with my cube here. At the back here is X. But I can also control based on my my view angle. So for that case, I can go back to coordinate space. So I don't want it to follow the world. So I can select view space. So that will be my view. So if I click view space, so you can see, so this will be the Y and this one will be X. I can control from that as well. Other settings that I can do from here as well is that I can actually follow based on the angle of the face. So when I click this face right here, you can see that the arrow is actually downward, upwards like this and like this, which is basically following my view. So if I click at the workspace, it will follow the workspace view. But maybe you want it to be perpendicular from the face as well. So for that case, you can use the selection space right here. So then this one will follow based on the face direction locations, and it will continue to select everything. So it will combine. So you can see. So if I click over here, it will change. If I click over here, it will change as well. So it will show you for the overall orientation for this gizmo right here. But maybe I will only want to have one direction. So for that case, I can select local per entry. So basically, it's going to perpendicular with the face, but it only follow for the first one out. So you can see it does not follow for the rest, unlike selection space. So that is the things that you can control from there. And then talk about the editing as well. So you need to select the face, the point, the edges. So that will be the selection. So you can also filter out from the edit from here. Maybe I would like to only select the point. So for that case, I can select vertex. Then this one allow me to select vertex only. Then I can basically edit of this vertex as well. So maybe I would like to have an edge. So I need to select the edge. From there, I can select the edge, then I can control and edit and select the edge only. I have the face, so basically face. And down here, I have body. So this one is basically for overall of the object right here. I can input multiple objects. So if I would like to move only one, then I can select one body from here, then it will select everything. And then down here, we have all. So this one basically allow you to move whether you want to select face or edge, which is the default selection for you guys. Right, so to make it easy, some of the things, if you would like to edit or select, so you can also just double click and it will select all of the entire lines. Maybe I double click at the face, so it will select all the face right here. So you can also double click to quickly select multiple selection. So other things that you can do from here, right? So it's already interesting that you can basically move this one around. Other things, you can also move with soft modifications. So what this does that, if, for example, if I have a plane, so to make it clear, we just make multiple planes right here so that you can see it clearly. So when I try to move from this point, for example, so you can see the movement is actually quite sharp the higher that I go. So maybe I would like to this one follow as well, just a bit smooth. So for that case, you can use smooth soft modification. So when I click soft modification right here, you can see it show me the point. So this will indicate the point will follow as well, depending on the color lighting from here. So the lighter the color, the less that it will follow. So when I click right here, so you can see it try to follow from my direction. And you can also change based on how many area that you want to affect. So the first one is based on distance. I can input the distance, or I can also select based on face count. So currently it's set to 3. So 1, 2, 3. Maybe I would like to make it lower, so I can just reduce the number of counts. If I would like to make it larger, so I can just increase the number of count from there, and it will affect based on how many area that I would like to follow. Right, so you also have the weight from here. So this one, again, like I mentioned, so the higher the brighter the color, so the higher that it will be followed. So if I make it maximum, so everything will be followed. So basically, this is not what most people want. You can just reduce it, then you'll see the effect. And then from the modify from here, you also have the selection option. So this one is basically just allow to assist you in selections. Maybe I would like to select this face. You can just select multiple by clicking Control, so clicking multiples. Or you can also use from the selection option from here. Maybe I would like to select this face and then I would like to grow it. So I can select grow. I would like to reduce it. I can select shrink. And it's easy for me to edit the shape. Now, when I move this one, so other things that I can move, so that I can also extrude it out. So instead of basically just move this one out, I can create an additional faces and extrude it out. So what I can do there, I can hold alternate key, and then I can click at the arrow here, and then this one will allow me to pop this one up. So you can also extrude it by holding alternate key, then you can move this one. But they can control to add some more. Maybe I would like to extrude this one as well. So by clicking at the alternate, so I can also create something like kind of like a hole. So I can just basically extrude the side and something like that. Right, so that is basically how you can use an edit form. Right, so again, you have selection options. So if you like to click based on the line, then you can select the loop, for examples, or maybe just crease without selecting all, or maybe ring. So that is the selection options. So let's take a look under modify here. What are the rest of the things that you can do? So down here, we can also insert more edges. So sometimes when you add more, when you click, when you create a shape like here, you might need more edges so that you can have more smooth or more manipulation that you can do. So for that case, you can insert an edge, right? Because we cannot actually edit back the shape and change the how many face that we have. For this case, we can insert from. So I can click insert edge. I can select multiple edge, and I can control the positions, direction based on here. So I can also select both if I want to have for both sides. And when I'm done, I can click OK, and then it will change. Then if you notice that when I add more face, right, so for example, let's say if I try to move this one, and then I would like to add more face, so the shape will slightly change. So it become less smooth. I click OK, so it becomes less smooth, right? So because the more face that we have, so the more sharper that it becomes. So that is adding an edge. So you can also multiply based on the face selections. So if I click this face, so instead of adding a edges, I can also subdivide. So add some more face from there. Again, when I can click OK, so it will change the size and become a little bit sharper. If I don't want my size to change, so what I can do is that when I select to subdivide, okay, let me just select subdivide first, subdivide. I can select insert mode into exact. So it will retain the shape. So in order to do this, it will add more subdivide on other face surroundings. So when I click OK, so you can see the shape does not actually change, but it will. But for this case to happen, it needs to subdivide more faces just to match the face that I need. Right, so that is subdivide. So maybe you want to divide it manually, so you can also use insert points. I can just divide it manually from here. Okay, so again, this one also can be control, exact, simples. Right, so for this case, not actually usable. So for that case, I kind of need to use exact, right? But again, this one will add some more points on the other direction. So if you would like to edit some of the hole, you can also do that. So maybe I select multiple holes from there. So to delete it, so I can just click and delete buttons, or I can also right click, right? So there are also delete button from there. Maybe I just don't need this area, so I can just right click and I can just delete this one. So I have this direction area. Now to fill in, so I have fill hole, so you can also fill back. So maybe you necessarily need to fill a hole and then you want to fill that back. So you can also use fill hole, and you can select the type of fill hole, maybe fill star or collapse. Right? So for this case, collapse is the best way because it does not change into the square box that we see previously. So what is the square box that we see that previously actually? So that is the size if the shape is not smooth. Right? So sometimes we kind of need to look back at the square box that we see previously because it's make it easy to identify the edges. So to do that, I can go to the utilities from here, and I can select display mode. And I can select this face here, so I have selection. So this will be the smooth that we see. We can also select box display, so we become square box like this. And this way, if there are intersection between one edges, so we can see clearly using this box. Right, so it's quite useful. So for this case, maybe I need it to be much smoother for this area. So I can just need to change based from here. So again, this box here is not actually the actual shape. So if I finish the form, I go back and you can see, so this one is still smooth, right? So that square board that we see is not actually the actual shape, just that we can see the line easily, right? So I can just go back to smooth, and I can go back and take a look from here. What are the things that I can do from here? So we already take a look at the delete, so we can actually delete. Maybe I need to cut this one across. So for that case, I can use the unwell edge. So this one can allow you to basically divide it. So I can go here and I can click unwell edges. Now I click OK. So this one is not one body only, right? So it's divided into two. So when I click here, I try to move. Let me just select the entire body. Just here, you can see it's no longer connected. Right? So other things that you can do from here, you can also weld vertices. So basically means you can join a point. So maybe I would like to join these 4 points together. So I can use weld vertice. So I can select this point to this point. Let me just open back weld vertice. So I can select this point to this point, then connect to this point as well. So basically just join that point together. So that is weld vertices. And if I would like to combine two objects together, we have this object here, and I would like to basically combine that face to face. So for that case, I have two ways. One is I have merge edge, or I can also have bridge. So if I use merge edge, so I can select the group one, this tree line here. Then I can select group two, and it will combine these three faces. Right, something like this. But maybe I don't want this to be like this because this one will stretch this one out. So other ways is that I can create a new faces. So under modify, I can use merge edge. I can use bridge. Right? So bridge basically allow to create an additional faces and it will bridge them together between these two. So that is the first slot. And the second slot, then I can specify how many faces that I want. So then I can click OK. So I have this bridge like this, right? So I can also increase some more face, the wood increase more. So that is the bridge. And then let's say if I would like to make some area sharp, so because if I go back here, I can specify based on box view. Maybe on certain area, I need to have that sharp edge. So for that case, you can add crease. So under modify here, I can go to the crease. I can select the edge and then it will become sharp in that area. So I can select, continue, select some more. Maybe this area as well. And maybe I don't want this. So let me just select this one. So once I'm done, I can click OK. Then you can see this area that I select, it becomes sharp. So if I want to undo that, you can also use uncrease. Basically, it will undo the sharp edge. Right, so that is crease, decrease. So other things that you can use to easily create this, you can also symmetry the shape. So you make it one side to flow for the other sides. So for my case here, I cannot use this one anymore because the shape is no longer symmetric. But I can actually do for this one because it's actually still symmetric for both sides. But for this case, I think I will create a new one instead so that you can see easily. So when I create a shape from here, I can add some more again. So symmetry, I can add from the symmetry from here. Alternatively, I can also click from here, right? So if I would like to add a symmetry, I can click mirror and I can select which direction area that I would like to symmetry. Right, but for this case, I'm just going to leave it like this. And if I would like to add it manually, so I can go to symmetry. I can select mirror. And I can select one of the face and then the second face. And it's going to find the between these two faces and going to divide and become a symmetric face. So when I click OK, and if I would like to make some changes, edit this face, so I can use edit form. Okay, so let me just go back to all, right? So let me just select edit form. And then when I move, now you can see the other side move as well, right? So for this case, maybe I would like to break it out. And you can see it's actually moving. Right, maybe I would like to move this one down, make this one forwards. You can do it easily and it will affect both of the sides. Right, so maybe I would like to extrude. Again, I can hold alternate key, then I can just press this one to extrude up. Maybe this one I would like to extrude downwards. But what if I would like to extrude this both space, which is close together? Now, if I click here and I hold alternate key and I try to move, then you will see that this actually does not extrude together. So to fix this, you can use the well vertices, but for this case, I don't want to do that. So right away, if I would like to extrude together, so I need to make sure to click on the other side as well. So if I click here, it's already highlight the other side as yellow. But in order to extrude together, I need to select this one as well. And then when I try to extrude, alternate, then you will see it will extrude together without breaking into two pieces. So that is basically how we can do. So that is basically how you can use a form. So there are also many other tools that you can use. But for this case, you can just use the edit form. So this is basically the most important tools for you to create this shape. And just another tips, so let's say if you like to add some reference, right, inside of your drawing, so what you can do is that you can actually insert an image. Right? So for that case, you need to sketch first. Okay, so for this case, I think I will create a new design instead. So I can create a sketch. Then if I would like to input a reference image, so I can go to canvas from here. And then I can insert it from my computer. I can select that. So on a select, so the image has appeared. I can change the scale of this, make it, let's say, 10 times large. And then I can add some more image. So actually, you don't have to go to sketch because you can still access the canvas from here. So I can just click another canvas, and I can basically upload for the other ones. Right? Right, so let me just click the canvas. And I can insert this one. So maybe this one I need to click it for the bottom side. And I can change the scale from here, change the rotations. And maybe I would like to make it center, so I can just change. Then from here, you can continue to move forward and create a form. And you can easily create a size which is kind of follow the shape that you require. And from here, right, so I think my shape is quite small, so let me just make another shape from here. Okay, so I'm gonna keep both sides tricks and make it slightly bigger for this one as well. Then I can add more faces from here. So directly, if I would like to make it mirror to the other side as well, so I can just use mirror from here, and I can select mirror for the length or for the width. In this case, maybe for the height. Right? So I can just change. So I can add more faces if I would like to. Done. Then I can just use this one to edit. Right? So I can add to modify. And sometimes you kind of find yourself hard to see because of this canvas from here. You can go back to the canvas from here, and then you can turn this one off temporarily. Then you can see your object clearly. Right, so maybe I need to make it up like this. You can select multiple faces and move it around. So I can move it, and I can basically just use this one to easily trace back my shape. So that is basically how you use the form modeling inside of Fusion. So I hope this session is useful for you. So I hope I can also see you guys again on our next few lessons. So that is all from me. So thank you for joining and have a nice day. Bye-bye.